like I'm here. I hope that some of the technical difficulties that we experienced last week have been taken care of for the time being. I'm sure they'll come up again as everything comes up and then goes away and then comes back, and that is that's the idea behind today's practice. The duality of nature, the duality of practice. We are always seeking balance, and then we swing far in this direction, thinking we're, finding answers and we've got it all figured out, and then something happens and we have no idea what's going on. That's where I'm at today. I have no idea what's going on, but I think that's a great place to start practice. So let's get on our mats and arrive here. And maybe we'll find some answers on the mat. I hope so. Okay, so with that very I want to say dubious introduction, let's start in a familiar way by taking a comfortable cross-legged seated position. You might sit up on some padding. And I'm going to take my phone just because if anybody is having technical difficulties, I'll try to field those concerns from the mat here. Okay, so seated position, possibly up on some padding. Cross the legs at the ankles. You might even move some flesh around, pulling the buttocks back and apart to feel a more concrete connection between your sits bones and the surface beneath you. When you're ready, close your eyes, find a place to place your hands. And arrive in this space. So consider the power of practice. If you have been consistently over time creating this time and space for your yoga practice, notice if you enter a distinctively different space just by coming to your mat in this time and space. So the experience of the body may transition into more of a calm, grounded, peaceful state. You might notice the breath regulating to a more even pace. Might slow down. Invite yourself here. Become aware of the physical body, noticing what might be calling your attention at this moment. Are you experiencing discomfort, soreness, pain in any regions of your body? Or is there an overall sense of feeling tired, heavy, or upbeat and light? Perhaps a lot of feelings are happening all at the same time. having collected some data about how you are, how you're feeling as you enter this practice, now consciously direct your attention to the spaces where your body is touching the surfaces beneath you. Create an energetic connection between your body and the earth. Visualize roots growing down into the earth, growing broad, growing deep. And then as you send energy downward, receive energy up from the earth. And then as you connect with that rising energy, grow tall along the spine. This might be accompanied by shrugging the shoulders up towards the ears to lengthen the sides of the body. Keep the sides of the body long as you loop the shoulder blades together behind the heart, creating a contraction of the upper back muscles, allowing the heart space to expand. Release the weight of the arms down towards the floor, causing the shoulder blades to slide down the back side of the chest. This attention to the upper back and chest may have caused the head to tilt back. If so, bring the chin down parallel with the floor. Ease the sides of the neck back, aligning the head over the heart space over the center of the pelvis. Just as we created a conscious connection between the lower body and the floor, the lower body and the earth, you might start to feel the skin intermingling with the air all around you. So if the legs and hips are growing roots, the upper body may be growing branches or leaves. Begin to connect again with the breath, directing breath in and out through the nostrils as you begin the practice of Ujjayi Pranayama. Pulling in a gentle contraction at the back of the throat. And building the capacity of the lungs for fullness as well as emptiness. Follow your breath through 3 more rounds of Ujjayi Pranayama. Notice if the mind has wandered beyond this moment. Bring the mind back to the breath. Let your awareness, your consciousness ride the wave, the swell and ebb of the breath. Okay, we will chant Om this morning. So if you've been here with me the past few weeks, I've been talking about this this way of experiencing Om with the intention turned internally, and experiencing the sound as as 3 syllables, and the sound rising from the abdomen up through the heart space, and then ultimately ending at in the throat, the back of the throat and the back of the the back of the mouth. So I feel like that's been an interesting journey, and I wanted today to challenge us to with this idea of duality, of doing it this way, honoring this idea of internal vibration. So we're going to attempt that system of Oming for the first Om, and then the second Om I want to think about projecting more. So for a long time, especially when practicing with other people, I thought I've envisioned when I was Oming, like the sound of my Om almost like traveling through the sound of other people's Om, like like a tunnel, almost like a tunnel of sound, like the sounds interweaving. So although we're not in company with each other, you might be in company with 1 or 2 other people wherever you're practicing. I would like to try to do the second Om with this intermingling of our voices in mind. And then the third Om, let's just do what feels right in the moment. So we're going to experience this duality of Om, the internal sensation and the expression. Okay, so bring your hands together in front of your heart. Exhale your breath, and we'll inhale for that internal Om experience. Bow your head to your heart, release your palms to your thighs, and slowly lift your head as you open your eyes. Okay, let's come forward into a tabletop position, and we'll begin our cat and cow stretches. Place your hands shoulder width distance, spread your fingers and palms, knees are hip width. Inhale, belly and chest down, tailbone and gaze. Lift into the cow shape. And then exhale, round the spine, chin to chest, tailbone towards the floor, belly button towards the ceiling, opening up the back body in cat pose. Inhale, back to cow. And explore the range of motion of your spine. Connecting movement and breath. And listening for your experience of the moment. So what are you able to hear as you move through these two shapes? So with this idea of listening to the body. And then after synchronizing movement and breath, moving through the typical alignments of cat and cow, how might you choose to invite modification, invite even, you might call it specialization? Pausing in one shape or the other, starting to make movements of the hips side to side or around in elliptical shapes. And let's come back to a neutral spine. Bring the right hand below the face, left hand to the back of the skull. Inhale, open the chest towards the left wall, look up, point the elbow up, and then exhale, draw the elbow in towards the right wrist. We'll do this 4 more times. Inhale, open left. Exhale, curl in. Inhale, open left. Hand into the head. Exhale, curl in, pushing down through the knuckles of the right hand. Inhale, open left. Exhale, curl in. Last one, first side. Inhale, open left. And exhale, curl in. Place the left hand below the face. Cup the head with the right hand. Inhale, open to the right, look up, head into the hand. Exhale, curl in, shoulders apart. Inhale, open right. Exhale, curl in 2. Inhale, open right. Exhale, curl in 3. Inhale. Exhale. Last one, open right, look up, head into the hand. Then exhale, curl in, and walk your way up to a kneeling position. You're gonna do gate pose. So stack your hips over your knees, and let's bring the left leg out. So I've practiced this a couple different ways, with either the outside of the foot sickling towards the floor, or, okay, Ava, okay. Looks like Ava got in. So tech support wasn't very supportive, but everything worked out in the end. Hips and chest square forward. So you can either sickle the outside of the foot down or turn the toe up. So I'm gonna work with sickling the foot today. That's just what I wanna do. But you know, experiment with both of those things. And then take the right arm up. Reach up out of the right side body, keeping the chest and hips squared forward. Begin to slide the left hand down the left leg as you lean to the left. So notice if the chest is turning downward, try to open the chest up by revolving the left ribs forward. So if that means you don't go down so far, so be it, is my feeling on that. Keep the face soft as you look up. Connect with breath. Connect with the experience of the right side body as the knee grounds down. Reach through the fingertips. Arrive in this moment, in this shape. Listening to what this opens up, what sensations this unique shape creates at this unique moment. inhale, let's come back to center, release the right arm down, bring the left knee back to the mat as the right leg extends out. So either flex the toes up towards the ceiling or sickle the outside of the foot downward. Square the hips and chest. Left arm up, right arm along the right leg. Keep the hips and chest squared forward, reach up out of the left side, and then exhale, slowly slide the hand down the leg as you lean the upper body to the right. So a side extension here, lateral bend, right ribs gently draw forward as you spiral the left ribs slightly back. Gaze might turn up, notice tension or hardness in the face. Notice how that might be reflecting your experience. Can you soften your experience by softening the face? Tuning into the left side body. Keep the right leg strong, so the kneecap pulling in and up. Then come back to center, left arm down. And let's stand up. Haven't been standing up early on in practice lately, so let's get going on standing. Build your mountain from the ground up. Lift and spread your toes, place them back down. Feet are about hip width distance. Again, extend energy from your body into the earth, and then from the earth, lift up the legs, grow tall along the spine, roll the shoulders back, turn the palms forward. Lift along the front of the pelvic crest as the tailbone extends down. Chin parallel to the floor. Embody the mountain, become the mountain. So I was thinking about a mountain and how a mountain is formed, and a mountain, from my rudimentary geology, I believe a mountain is formed by tectonic movements of the Earth's surface. So that's a pretty violent act, land colliding and separating and being pushed up into the earth, into the sky. So consider that the strength of this moment is kind of born of conflict, born of some earth crashing into earth. Feel the strength of your legs, the broadness, the vulnerability of the chest space. And then as you inhale, float the arms overhead, reach up, look up, push the palms into one another. And then as you exhale next, gently flow forward, keeping a gentle bend in the knees as you release the upper body down. Fingertips can come to the floor or blocks set in front of you. Release the upper body down towards the floor and breathe, becoming aware of the backs of the legs as the feet press down, as the hips rise to the sky. Again, the upper body is expanding, extending downward in this shape. Crown of the head expanding, extending towards the earth. Shoulders up away from the ears, sides of the neck long. Tune into the moment, tune into the back body. And infuse the shape with breath. Movement of prana with each breath, vital energy shining light into the body. As you inhale next, bring the fingertips lightly to the shins, lift up halfway, shoulder blades on the back. And then exhale, fold once again, head down, hands to the blocks or floor. Inhale, sweep the arms up, look up as you reach up, palms touch. And then exhale, hands through heart center and back to the mountain. A few more times with the Surya Namaskar A. Inhale, sweep the arms up, or a half Surya Namaskar A. Exhale, flow forward, hips high, head low. Inhale, lift halfway, fingertips to the shins. Exhale, fold deeply in, release the head down. Inhale, circle up, reach up, look up, press the palms together. Exhale, hands through heart center, back to the mountain. Inhale to rise. Exhale, flow forward. Inhale, lift halfway, fingertips to the shins. Exhale and flow forward, head low, hips high. Inhale to rise. And exhale, hands through heart center, arms to your sides. And let's bring new movements into this flow. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead without the palms touching. Look forward, and then exhale, sink your hips down into an imaginary chair. Keeping the knees hip-width distance, curl the gaze up, chest up. Hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fold forward, hips high, head low. Inhale, fingertips to the shins, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, rise. Exhale, sink the hips down into the chair. Sides of the waistline back, tailbone tucked. Knees are ankle width distance apart. Curl the chest up, reach the arms up, look up. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hips high, head low, fold forward. Inhale, lift halfway, shoulder blades on the back. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, rise, push with the feet, reach up, palms touch. Exhale, back to the mountain. Okay, doing things a little differently today. Okay, let's take the feet hip width distance apart and just swing the arms around. One hip goes forward and you're kind of hitting yourself with the arms as they flail around the body. Okay, so from here we are going to take some standing poses. So if you have blocks, you might place them on either side of your mat. And you know, the height of your blocks may change. I'm starting mine at the middle height. Stand at the middle of your mat with your inner feet together. Bring your hands together in front of your heart. And then as you exhale next, hop or step your feet wide apart, taking your arms out to the height of your shoulders. Okay, so if you have the aid of a mirror or a monitor in front of you, you might attempt to align your wrist below your ankles. So this is a pretty wide stance. Hard to tell from the vantage point of your own face if your ankles are below your wrists though. Okay, tone the muscles of your legs, sickle the outer feet down, so draw the kneecaps in and up, lifting through the front of the pelvis, lengthening down through the tailbone. Reach out through the fingertips, lengthening the arms, and then turn the palms up as you draw the shoulder blades down the back side of the chest. So as the palms turn up, notice that your inner elbows are facing the ceiling. Keep the inner elbows facing the ceiling and turn the palms back down. Chin parallel to the floor, and we are in a posture right now, so be in this pose. So just now I'm imagining a force pulling my arms apart, pulling my legs apart, and then you're working against that force. So you are creating the extension, but you're also creating contraction. So there's a duality of this moment. You're being pulled apart, and then you're pulling back in. Okay, we're gonna start by turning the left toes out. And remember, I'm not mirroring you, so this can be especially confusing with the standing poses. But we're turning the left toes out and then looking to the left knee. Bend the left knee in the direction of the toes, sinking the hips down. As the hips sink down, keep turning the chest forward, squaring the chest towards the room in front of you. Look down at the left knee again. Make sure the left knee is not turning in. You want to be able to see the left big toe at the inside of the left knee. Root down through the outer edge of the right foot. Engage Janu Bandha on the right leg, lifting the kneecap in and up. As you extend through the inner thigh of the left leg, push the right thigh back. Keep chin parallel to the floor and then take your gaze out beyond your left fingertips. Again, notice any hardness in the facial expression. And then by being aware of that, can you soften that? And by softening the face, are you possibly softening your experience of the moment? Kind of letting down resistance. Embracing the moment, embracing the challenge, becoming your courageous warrior 2. So notice the shaking, notice the challenge of this moment. Slowly straighten the left leg. Reach down for that block and bring it to the outside of the left shin. So you can start the block at any one of the 3 settings. You can always move it once you get down there. Square the hips and chest forward again. Tone the muscles up the legs. Again, get that sense of at once being pulled apart, expanding through the limbs, and then staying all together, keeping the arms plugged into the shoulders, the feet drawing in towards one another at the middle of the mat. So isometric movement together with the feet. And then exhale, bring the left hand straight down to the block as the shoulders stack. Okay, so this is the alignment that I generally prefer. So this might be different than what you encounter elsewhere. So instead of reaching the left arm out over the left foot and then trying to grab the foot or the ankle, we're just coming straight down and bringing the hand to a block at the outside of the shin. So notice if you have an aversion to doing things this way or doing things a different way. Decide to trust that aversion or try something different. You know, it's your choice. I do attempt to stay away from ascribing good or bad to different styles of practice. So we're all having this internal dialogue. We're all learning to speak to our bodies in respectful ways, making decisions as to when it's appropriate to push ourselves into these new spaces, these new shapes, when it's appropriate to find more support, to back off from where we might have even been in the past. So there's, an inherent duality with the practice, pushing and pulling, extending, contracting. So arrive in this triangle shape. And then make decisions over time if the pose would benefit from a different expression. So maybe you want to extend the right arm over the right ear. Maybe you want to bring the block underneath the hand to a higher or lower height. Maybe you want to experiment with trying this pose without the block. So much being offered in this shape. Ground down through the base of the left big toe and re-engage the left leg. Again, Janu Bandha, drawing the knees in and up on both legs. You might imagine the right hand pressing into an imaginary wall to revolve the left ribs forward. If the neck is giving you grief, then try looking forward or down, or making the neck the focus of your experience this morning. Okay, pull up through the right hand, come back to center. And then we're going to do one more pose on this side. We're going to go for a side angle pose. So you might set up the block at the outside of the left ankle. I'm going to start my block on the highest height. And it can always be adjusted. Hands and hips square forward. Take the arms out. Again, feel as though your arms are being pulled, your legs are being pulled, and then draw back in. Okay, look down at the left knee. Again, bend the left knee as though you're moving back into the warrior two pose. And then from this shape, we're going to bring the left hand down to the block at the outside of the left shin and stack the right arm on top. So keeping the right foot anchoring back, right leg straight and strong, widen the left leg gently into the left arm and hug the left arm gently into the left leg. Choose to stay here, or we'll extend the angle here by bringing the right arm forward, turning the outer edge of the right hand down towards the floor, and then sweeping the right arm over the ear. So you'll notice as you sweep, the chest will go down, but attempt to keep revolving the left ribs forward until you can look up beyond the right tricep muscles. So be here now, arrive in your posture. Do you need more support? Do you want more depth? If the hand on the block is too deep as it is, you can bring the left arm to the left shin. I notice with that though, there's the upper body kind of releases down. So if you do have the arm on the shin, try to get lifted, get space between the ribs and the thigh. Again, we're going to do kind of a long hold here. So settle into the moment. Again, consider a hardness expressed in your face. By addressing that hardness, can you start to soften into the moment? Right arm up, pull up with the right hand, come back to center, straighten the left leg. And then you can bring the hands to the hips as you turn the left toes forward. A little bit of a rest here. Actually, let's rest even more by bringing the hands together at the heart space and hopping or stepping the feet back together. Okay, take the feet hip width distance apart, and we're going to slap the body again. A little bit of more fluid movement between those kind of rigid shapes. Okay, so now we will approach the second side. So have a block at the right side, hands together in front of the heart. Exhale, hop or step your feet wide apart. Attempt to take a stance where the ankles are generally below the wrists. Pull the arms out, extend the legs out, and then contract them in. Feet together, shoulder blades on the back. Turn the palms up, turn the inner elbows up, keep the inner elbows up, turn the palms back down. Right toes, 90 degrees to the right. Keep the hips and chest in this alignment as you look down at the right knee and begin to bend the right knee in the direction of the toes. Extension through the inner right thigh. Look down at the knee, try to see the right big toe. So if you can't see the toe, the knee is probably curling in a bit. You want the knee bending in the same direction as the toes. Straighten and strengthen the left leg, ground through the outer edge of the left foot. That's the anchor of your pose, and then from there, go any deeper. Keep the chin parallel to the floor, and then take the gaze out beyond the right fingertips. Notice any hardness in the face. Soften the face, soften into the moment. Okay, back off the right leg. Again, extend out through the arms. Place the block at the outside of the right shin. Deciding on an initial setting for the block. Ground down through the right big toes. Tone up the right leg, arms back up. And then exhale without reaching to the right. Bring the right hand straight down to the block at the outside of the shin. Revolve the right ribs forward, left ribs back, stack the shoulders. Reach the left fingertips skyward and spread the palm. Keep that left foot anchoring down, back leg strong. And then again, tune in with what you're feeling, where are you feeling in this shape. Do you want to readjust the height of your block? If so, do so. And be present with the expansion and contraction, the duality of this pose, the duality of this moment. So I'm thinking now about how I'm experiencing some shaking. I haven't done a lot of standing poses in my practice recently, and I'm feeling the vulnerability, a little bit vulnerable and weak in this shape, and thinking about how it takes going to a place of vulnerability, vulnerability to get stronger. So again, make a decision about the head. If the neck is really giving you a lot of sensation, distracting you, if that distraction is welcome, stay with it. If it's unwelcome, you might move the head forward or even look down in this shape. Remember that trick of pushing the left hand into the imaginary wall, revolving the right ribs forward. Then pulling back up through the left arm, coming back to center. Okay. Readjust the feet if they've slid apart, and then place the block at the outside of the right ankle on one of its 3 settings. Hips and chest square forward, tone the legs, sweep the arms up, and then again, as though we're going into Warrior 2, sink the hips down, bend the knee in the direction of the toes. And now we'll bring the right hand to the block, left arm to the ceiling. Wind the right leg into the arm, stack the shoulders. Keep the left leg toned, ground anchor through the back leg. And now to extend the side angle, take the left arm forward, parallel to the floor, angle the outer edge of the left hand towards the floor, and then sweep the arm over the ear, palm facing the wall behind you. Revolve the right ribs forward, left ribs back. Again, assess the support that you have, that you need, that you want in this moment, in this shape. So forearm can come to shin. If so, lift through the side ribs. Block can come to a lower setting, or fingertips can even reach towards the floor, to the floor. Again, notice the face. Soften the face, soften into the moment. Left arm to the sky, lift with the left arm, come back up, turn the right toes forward, hands together in front of the heart, exhale and hop or step your feet back together. Whew. Okay, after the rigidity of those poses, let's do some hula hooping, or you can swing your arms again. I just went directly to the hula hoop. So get your invisible hula hoop on one direction and the other direction. Whew. That was hard, was it not? Okay. Now we'll do our wide-legged forward fold. So, as many of you have done this with me many a times, it might be helpful to have some props in front of you. Once you have your props in front of you, take your feet wide apart. Maybe not as wide as that previous pose, maybe even wider than the previous pose. Take your legs as wide apart as you're comfortable taking them and line the back of your heels up with the back of your mat. You might turn your toes in just slightly to get a better grip on your mat. Tone the muscles up your legs so you're pulling your your tight yoga pants in and onto your legs, up your legs. Then hands in the back pockets, let's say. Lengthen the tailbone down, lift through the front of the hip points, roll the shoulders back, and then take the gaze up. Lengthen along the front of the torso. And then exhale, hinge at the hips, bring that length parallel to the earth. Plant the hands, the wrists below the shoulders. Push the thigh bones back, lift the kneecaps up, shoulders away from the ears, chin and chest forward. And now start to fold forward. You might feel the weight of the body shift towards the base of the toes as the weight of the upper body cascades forward. The hands start to walk back, possibly in time, lining the fingertips up with the toes. Elbows are bent at a 90-degree angle and shoulder width distance apart. The hands might even experiment with walking back further. Either choose to stay here, or if the head is not on a solid surface, you might find a solid surface to push your head down into. So it might take a little bit of experimentation to get your head firmly planted into a surface. So it might be a block, it might be two blocks, it might be a blanket block combination. You might have to come up with a creative way to fold your block to get yourself into that space of expansion, of your boundary line in this pose, where your head is just making contact with a with a solid surface. So my experience of that is that when I'm at my edge in this pose, I can really feel that edge as I breathe. So as the inhale happens, the head might pull away from the surface beneath it. And then as the exhale occurs, there's an expansion, an extension of the head back into that space. So that's kind of, again, the breath is a constant duality, the inhale, the exhale. But also interesting to note that the inhale, this internal expansion, actually pulls the head away from the surface. And then the exhale, this internal contraction, creates an external expansion. Be present with your body in this moment, in this shape, noticing what and where you're feeling. So today's kind of so far it's been an interesting practice for me, because I'm really going to a lot of poses that I haven't been teaching recently. I haven't been practicing or teaching recently. So in the reintroduction to these poses, I'm noticing that that some of these muscle groups have not experienced the same attention as of late that I have given them in the past, and thus the expression of the shape has changed. So many of you who have been practicing with me, I am assuming may have a similar experience. Like, if you're not doing this practice on a regular basis, it's going to be different than when you are practicing it on a regular basis. And again, that's kind of, it's an even deeper demonstration of the power of practice. And it's not that, it's not that we have been doing nothing, we just haven't been doing this thing. So balance is something that doesn't happen, it happens in the moment, it happens in an instant, but it also happens over time. We revisit something that we have, we go up to the attic and we dust off an old chest and we revisit something that, we haven't visited in a while, with new eyes, with new perspective. So what is your perspective on this pose in this moment? Walk your hands back below the shoulders and bring the right hand below the face. Take your left hand to the low back as though placing a glass of water there. Without spilling the water, begin to revolve around the central channel of your spine. Right ribs towards the left wall, left shoulder onto the back of the heart. Push the thigh bones back, extend the crown of the head forward. Check to make sure your hips are an even height so that the glass of water stays upright. And then if the shoulders are stacked, you might experiment with taking the left arm up or even wrapping the left arm around the top of the right thigh, hugging the left shoulder blade onto the back of the chest. And look down, left hand down, right hand to the glass of water, tone the legs, lift the kneecaps, press the thigh bones back as you extend the crown of the head forward. Keeping the upper body parallel to the floor, begin to revolve around the central channel of the spine, left ribs, left shoulder towards the right wall, right shoulder stacks on top. Be sure to keep those hips level as the thighs press evenly back. And then attempt to look up, attempt to reach up, push into that imaginary wall, or wrap the right arm behind the back, attempt to clasp the top of the left thigh with the right fingertips, hugging the right shoulder blade deeply onto the back of the chest. Look down, hands to hips, elbows to the ceiling, draw back through the sides of the waistline, come on up, and then heel toe the feet back towards hip width distance. Remove any props that you might have had out in front of you. Again, let's loosen up a little this, little hula hoop, one direction and the other. Shake the arms out, and again, we'll do a little sun salutation work, but we're gonna do the whole sun salutation. I suspect many of you have done this many a times, but I'll give you options and you can choose to modify those options. So start at the top of the mat in Tadasana. Inhale, reach the arms up, palms touch. Exhale, flow forward, head low, hips high. Inhale, lift halfway, fingertips to the shins, and exhale to step back into a plank position. Inhale in plank, and exhale, lower down knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Inhale, push forward, press the feet down, curl up, cobra pose or upward dog. Exhale, lower down, and push the hips up and back into downward facing dog. And get acquainted with your dog in whatever manner you'd like this morning. Push the hands down and forward, shift the hips up and back. Find the breath. Use breath to move energy throughout the body. As you inhale next, sweep the left leg straight up and back. Look to the top of the mat. Exhale, lunge the left foot forward. Inhale in the lunge. Exhale, step the right foot forward, fold forward. Inhale, reach the arms out, up and overhead, palms touch. Exhale, hands through heart center, arms to your sides, Tadasana. Inhale, sweep the arms up, reach up. Exhale, flow forward. Inhale, fingertips to the shins, half lift. Exhale, fold as you lunge the left foot back. Inhale in the lunge. Exhale, plant the hands, plank position. Inhale in plank. Exhale, lower down, chaturanga or knees, chest, chin. Inhale, curl up, upward dog or cobra pose. Exhale, hip shift up and back, downward facing dog, 3 breaths. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Next breath in, lift the right leg up, 3-legged dog, lift to the top of the mat. Exhale, lunge the right foot between the hands. Inhale in the lunge. And exhale, step the left foot forward, fold forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, rise. Exhale, palms through heart center and arms to your sides. Inhale, rise. Exhale, flow forward. Inhale, lift halfway. And as you fold, send the right leg back, lunge, fingertips frame the front foot. Inhale in the lunge. Exhale, move to plank. Inhale in plank. And exhale, lower down. Inhale, curl up. Exhale, press back, downward facing dog. Breathe in your dog. Inhale, come forward to plank. Let's do 5 push-ups, why not? Exhale, lower down, possibly coming to your knees. Inhale, push up. Exhale, back, downward facing dog. Inhale, forward. Exhale, lower with control. Inhale, push up. Exhale, back, either down dog or child's pose. Inhale, forward. Exhale, lower. Inhale, press. Exhale, back, 3. Inhale, forward. Exhale, lower. Inhale, press. Exhale, back, 4. Last one. Inhale, forward. Exhale, lower. Inhale, press. And exhale, back, downward facing dog. Let's come forward, shoulders over wrist, plank position, lower the knees down, tilt the tailbone up. Reach the chin and chest forward and exhale, lower down, chin and chest to the floor at the same time, slide forward onto your belly. Lengthen the legs back one at a time. And arms at your sides. Bend the knees and flex the feet. Reach back for the outside edges of the ankles, grabbing either the left ankle or both ankles. So we're going to do this twice. If you just have the left ankle down, you'll get the right ankle on the second side. Make sure the ankles are hip width distance apart, knees are hip width distance apart, shoulder blades curling onto the back of the chest. And then engage the legs by kicking the ankles into the hands, lift the thighs up, and then let the upper body curl up. Opening the heart space, drawing back through the sides of the neck, lifting through the crown of the head, pushing the soles of the feet to the ceiling, and breathing. Bow pose. Arrive in your bow, perhaps the bow swaying with the breath, forward and back. Slowly lower the thighs down. Turn the right cheek to the floor, arms at your sides, big toes touch, heels wide apart, head heavy, neck soft, arms heavy, upper back broad. Return to the breath, arrive in the moment. Rest and reflect. Okay, chin to the floor, second side, second round. Either grab that right ankle or grab both ankles, feet flexed. Once you have the ankle or ankles, draw the knees hip width distance apart, ankles hip width distance apart, roll the shoulders back, and kick the ankles into the hand or hands, lift the thighs up, roll the shoulders back, side to neck back, crown of the head lifts, and experience your boat pose. Flow with breath. Okay, come on down. Left cheek to the floor, arms at your sides, big toes touch, heels wide apart, head heavy, neck soft, arms heavy, upper back broad. Return to the breath. Eyes closed or soft gaze. Okay, chin back to the floor, tuck your toes, engage the legs, lift the kneecaps, plant the wrists by the ribs, exhale, push up into a plank position or plank on the knees. Exhale back, downward facing dog or child's pose. One more set of 5 push-ups, inhale forward to plank, exhale lower, inhale press, exhale back 1. Inhale forward, exhale lower, inhale press, exhale back 2. Inhale forward, exhale lower, inhale press, exhale back 3. Inhale forward, exhale lower, inhale press, exhale back 4. Last one, inhale, exhale, inhale, press back and knees to the floor. Swing your legs forward, come to lie on your back. Whew. Ah. Grateful to be lying on my back. How about you? Let's do some core work. What are we gonna do? Core work. How are we gonna do it? Intensely. Take your legs to the ceiling. Push up through the soles of the feet. Squeeze the legs together. Tuck your tailbone towards your heels. Curl your low body off the floor. Try to get your feet higher. And then interlace your fingers behind your head. Curl your head, neck, and shoulders up off the floor so less of your back body is on the floor. And then exhale, lower the left leg down. Lean to the right. Left elbow to the outside of the right thigh. Inhale back to center. Scoop the tailbone. Exhale, right leg down. Inhale, center, scoop. Exhale, lean right, left leg down. Inhale, center, scoop. Exhale, right leg down. Soften the face. Inhale, center, scoop. Exhale, left leg down. Inhale, center, scoop. Exhale, right leg down. Inhale, center, scoop. Left leg down. Inhale, center, scoop. Right leg down. Inhale, last round. Lift. Exhale, left leg down. Inhale, scoop. Exhale, right leg down. Inhale, scoop. Lift the legs. Lift the arms. Reach towards the toes. Reach past the toes. Soften the face. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the head, lower the hips, lower the feet to the floor. Take your arms out wide, palms face the ceiling, feet as wide as the mat. Windshield wiper your legs side to side. Okay. What a good start. What a good start when we're almost done with class. I'm like, I needed a long introduction to my body this morning. If you have a block and you'd like to use it for bridge pose, you can place it between the thighs. Pull the heels up towards the hips. Feet are hip width distance and parallel. Think about as the hips move up, squeezing the block in and also attempting to move it downward. It unlikely will actually be pushed downward, but think about the inner thighs, squeezing the block in and then moving it downward as the outer hips lift. Arms at your sides. Push the feet, lift the hips. Squeeze the block, squish it downward, extrude the block towards the floor with those powerful, intelligent thighs. And then interlace your fingers behind your back. Tuck your shoulder blades underneath your chest. 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Chin to the chest, lift the hips, lift down the front line of your body, and then remember that seemingly impossible task of directing breath into the shorter side of your posture if one presents itself. I'm always thinking about this. My right side is always lower, and so I'm trying to think about breathe into the right line. So is that the case for you? Maybe so, maybe not. Be in your pose. Be curious. Be accepting of this and accepting of change. Lower the hips down. Untuck the shoulders. Maybe remove the block, walk the feet apart, let the knees fall together. If you like, bring some hands onto the middle body. Feel the breath in the hands. Feel the breath in the body. Reinvigorate the breath, redirect the breath. Let the breath bring you into the moment. Okay, building bridges. Feet hip width distance. Maybe use the block again between the thighs, squeezing it in, pushing it away, pushing it down. Arms at the sides, push the feet down, lift the hips up, interlace the fingers as we've done before, or attempt to slide the palms underneath the heels, or attempt to grab the ankles with the fingers around the outside for a bound bridge. Whatever you've chosen, come on up. Make your bridge structurally sound, So if it's not structurally sound to build a bigger bridge, build a smaller bridge, build a well-constructed bridge. Be in your bridge. Again, there's the duality of accepting what is and accepting that it will pass. It will change. I just got used to things being this way, though. When you're ready, come on down. Long holds today is what I'm experiencing. I'm experiencing from my teaching that I'm asking you guys to hold poses a long time. Again, come back to your resting, reflecting position, possibly hands on the body to experience the breath. another bridge or wheel or something else that is a back bend. Maybe it's even a supported back bend by placing the block underneath the hips. But let's go a little longer with this back bending trend. You know, this is just like explosions of energy and power. Come to bridge, come to bound bridge, or attempt a wheel pose this morning if you feel supported enough to do bridge wheel away from the wall. This would mean taking the hands by the head, elbows towards the ceiling, fingertips pointed towards the shoulders. Press the feet down, lift the hips up, come to the top of the head. Walk the shove the elbows in towards the shoulders and keep them shoulder width distance apart, rolling towards the bridge of the nose as the hips continue to lift, and then pushing up, bringing the shoulders, attempting to bring the shoulders over the wrists so that the wrists are at a 90-degree angle, not a more acute angle. So whatever back bend you're in, again, be in your back bend. Opening up the front of the body. Strength and vulnerability. As you're ready, come on down. Remove the block, feet as wide as the mat, knees fall together, hands to the body if you like, awareness to the breath. Arms out to a T, windshield wiper the legs. So precise or more rigid movement into less precise, more fluid movement. Okay, come back to center. Lift the feet up off the floor, cup the knees with the hands, and just rock the hips and the knees side to side gently as you push the knees into the hands, getting more length in the low back. And then we're going to very slowly, gradually start to do some rocking and rolling along the spine. So just start gently, moving slowly, then gaining some range of motion. And then come up to seated, and we will do our shoulder stand practice. This can be done by bringing your mat to a wall. So this is an option. As we've talked about in weeks past, there's many ways to practice this pose with or without support of props, without support of the wall. So I have these blocks, these blankets, and I like to use them. So you can watch my setup if you're new to this. You might also, if you're new to this, you might also just watch a video that's more explicitly about just coming up into shoulder stand. I'm working with, I'm assuming some prior knowledge as I instruct this pose today. So crown of the head is facing the wall if you're using the wall. I encourage you to use your hands against the floor as you draw your knees into your chest and get a similar rocking motion that we had just a moment ago by swinging the feet over the head and aligning the hips over the shoulders. So this is plow pose, halasana.
I always use a Sanskrit name in this one. I'm not sure why. I just like it, I guess. Interlace the fingers behind the back if you'd like to. For me, that's a helpful way of getting the shoulder blades tucked underneath the back body so that this is truly a shoulder stand and not an upper spine or neck stand. So hopefully you feel the vertebra of the upper back lifting away from the floor, the mat or the props, so that you are standing on your shoulders. Okay, so from here to come up into shoulder stand, you can do shoulder stand with your arms, your fingers interlaced, arms straight. A more classic expression of the shape is to bring the hands up the back body, pinky fingers side by side, fingertips pointing up towards the hips, walk the feet up the wall if you're using it, and eventually swing the legs upward so that the heels attempt to align over the hips attempt to align over the shoulders. So what often is the direction that people want to continue to move in this pose is to get the hips higher and further towards the wall as the legs reach up and the thigh bones push back. So the hips move up and forward and the thighs move back. Chin towards the chest, looking up the front of the body. Shoulder blades hugging together, resting or standing on the shoulders. And I'm going to give you an opportunity for a longer hold here, as we have been practicing this fairly regularly. And if you get to a point where you cannot hold the legs up, then the feet can come to the wall and you can rest in plow pose and then come back up into this without much ill effect, because even halasana is a inversion where your hips are over your heart is over your head. So unlike coming in and out of a headstand, this won't be so jarring if you bring the legs down and then bring them back up. So also, since it's a long hold, if you'd like to take some variations on the shape here, you can. Taking the legs out wide apart, taking one leg forward, one leg back, bringing the feet down to the floor and then spreading the legs apart on the floor. You can even take eagle legs. So try to stay safe. Don't move your head around too much. But yeah, find that balance between safety and exploration. Of course, when you're ready, come on down through halasana. And if you'd like to experiment with deaf person pose today, I like to interlace my fingers again, re-engage my shoulders underneath my chest, and then walk my knees up towards my shoulders. So the name of this pose becomes pretty clear once you get the knees framing the side of the head. Because if you start to hug the head with the knees, it really will dampen the sounds around you. So gauge the depth of this pose by tucking the toes under and pushing the hips up a little bit, lifting the knees up. And then as you're ready to go deeper, you might start to flatten the feet as you lower the knees deeper towards the floor. You might also take the arms in the direction of the legs and in the direction of the feet. Okay, when you're ready, come on out of there. Hopefully you can hear me. And then slide your whole business up away from the wall if you're using the wall. If you're using the padding, shift your hips up onto the padding so that your hips are on the padding, but your rib cage and your shoulders are now on the floor or the flat mat. Legs can remain bent or straighten the legs, arms at your sides. We're preparing for fish pose. Palms face one another, fingertips towards the ceiling. Push the upper arms down, arch the upper back away from the floor, and attempt to come to the top of your head. So opening up the throat. So really countering the movement of shoulder stand as the chin pulls into the chest. Now we're opening up the throat space. I really like, this is a pose I didn't practice for years and years, and now I've really started to like it in contrast to the shoulder stand as a counter pose. And as you're ready, lengthen the neck, settle the shoulders, and we'll prepare for, we'll begin our final descent towards Savasana. So come to lie on your back once again. Draw your knees in and up towards the armpits. Take hold of the outer edges of the feet. Preparing for happy baby, rock side to side in happy baby. Something a little different today. For a moment, experiment with pushing your feet into your hands, lengthening out through your heels. And then feet together, interlace the fingers, knees apart, butterfly pose or reclined bound angle pose. Knees together. And genuinely give yourself a genuine embrace. Wrap your arms around the fronts of your legs, grab hold of wrists, forearms, or elbows. Tuck your chin to your chest, forehead towards the knees, tailbone towards the heels. Squeeze in, get small, get tight. And then expand. Extend through the legs. Arms at your sides, and find your way into your preferred expression of Savasana. So whether that be legs up the wall, goddess pose, or simply lying on your back. Maybe collect your comfort items if those help you to arrive in this moment. So I find it helpful to do a little preparation for this pose to give it some reverence. So take your time getting here. Then upon arrival in your pose, close your eyes. Arrive in the body once again.
just as we began class, collecting data. So again, this idea that by practice, by practicing these shapes and how we connect the mind and body in these shapes, might there become a pattern of arrival, so that as you take the care to place your body in this shape, there might be a calming of the nervous system, a reflexive slowing of the breath, clarity of mind. And the practice is a continual arrival, acceptance, cultivation of becoming. fingers and toes. You might like to rock and roll the arms and legs from side to side, perhaps even the back of your head. Whatever actions you like to perform to reawaken the body, to bring awareness back into the limbs. Eventually bend the knees, feet to the floor, extend the left arm along the left ear and roll onto the left side, transitioning from our corpse pose into this fetal position. Push your way back up to a seat. Any seat you feel comfortable with at this time is appropriate. Upon arrival, bring your hands back together in front of your heart. We'll chant Om one single time, and take some freedom with your Om, especially since we are all practicing at home. It's a great time to explore your own body in a safe space. So, how are you going to Om? Maybe you won't know until you're doing it. Exhale. Inhale for Om. Thank you all for your patience today. Thank you for your presence and your dedication to the practice. The light in me recognizes and bows to the light in each and every one of you. Namaste. Thank you guys for sticking with it. Those of you who are here live and those of you who are watching the recording later on, please get in touch with me with any feedback, anything that worked for you or didn't work. I want to know both. Let's grow together. If you'd like to make a donation to Brownstone Yoga, you can do so on the webpage. If you haven't been to the webpage, it's easily searchable. Just Google Brownstone Yoga, and it should be the first thing available. Towards the top of the page, there's a donation button, and donations will go in part to formerly Rubber Soul, now known as Revolution Therapy and Yoga Studio. A portion of the proceeds for August will go to Fair Fight, and a little, we'll keep some of the money to keep the stream going. Make sure we have a good consistent presentation here for you. So again, reach out to me either personally by phone or email, or if you don't have those things, please connect through the athenspublic@gmail email address, and I'll receive those as well. Okay, so I will be here again tomorrow at 10 doing a variation of this class, maybe a little bit shorter, more in the 75-minute range, and then on Wednesday evening at 5:30 I try to shorten it again to a 60-minute-ish practice. So for those of you in town in Athens, I am going to teach an outdoor class this coming Sunday. It's going to be at 8:45 a.m. Trying to beat the heat. So if you are interested in that, I can send you the details. I want to get confirmation on who's going to be there, just to know what to expect and how to help people to direct them how to arrange their mats in this very wide open outdoors quiet space. So it'll be an experiment. I'm gonna teach with a mask on, which I haven't done yet. But anyway, if you're interested in that, yeah, get in touch with me through one of those channels, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and that this got your week off to a good start. Okay, I will see you soon on here, I hope. Mwah.